95% of wholesalers are throwing away money because their leads are falling through the cracks. And I'm about to show you the exact technology that is going to help you prevent this from ever happening. Because the difference in wholesaling between a $50,000 a month consistently in revenue to a $10,000 a month is not more leads, it's actually your lead management. But here's what's really shocking. I just worked with a wholesaler that was spending about $8,000 a month on Facebook ads. And he was getting about 200 leads a month, but he was only closing one deal per month. And when we did something interesting and we audited his system, we found out that about 73% of his leads were not even touched. They were not even contacted. Crazy. That's about $5,840 in ad spend wasted every single month. And yeah, you probably experienced this too. Leads come in, they go to your CRM, you try to contact them, and then they just don't pick up the phone. Maybe 1 day or 2 days after, they're already gone to your competition. And what's crazy is that some people actually wait days to call them. And they just paid for these leads about $50 to $150 cost per lead. It's kind of crazy. You think that you need more leads, but in reality is that you just need a system that can take the leads that are already coming in and can convert them into real opportunities so you can get more deals and more contracts. This ultimately gives you revenue. My name is Esteban Andrade. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And I have helped over 1,000 real estate investors and wholesalers scale their wholesaling business by giving them more leads and also recruiting people for them using both of our companies, GetSellers.io and Remote Latinos. I have personally spent over $15 million in advertising in just 4 years running Facebook ads for wholesalers and over $10 million doing Google ads for investors, flippers, and so on. And this isn't just a matter of less than 5 years. And I have discovered that the top 1% of wholesalers, flippers, and investors that are out there, they actually have one thing in common, is that all of them, they have created and put together a system that works 24/7 for them without them having to move his finger, and they use technology to create a beast lead management system. And it comes down to a technology framework that 99% of wholesalers and investors would never hear about this until today. And once you implement it, you'll never lose another lead because of follow-up ever again. And I'm about to show you the exact framework and system that took the exact wholesaler that I just talked about from closing one deal to 5 deals a month using the same ad spend. And not just by spending more money or getting more leads, but actually being able to manage them properly and actually getting a hold of them. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to break down this exact beast lead management system. I'm going to show you how we actually generate these leads, nurture these leads, follow up with them, make sure that they turn into appointments so you can actually never miss another opportunity and they can actually turn into actual deals. And trust me, if you're not doing this right now this year, you'll probably be missing out again over and over on those leads and all those dead people that are in your pipeline. And your pipeline right now is a gold mine. So pay attention to this video. We're gonna dive into different systems that we have created using the Beast Lead Management System and leveraging technology. So if you're serious about scaling your wholesaling business, make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out my other videos that I dive deep into different topics about lead management, marketing, sales, and just how to actually grow your wholesaling business. So without further ado, let's get into this. So let's start with pillar number 1. This is where you leverage technology. The way that I see this is I see it like a set of dominoes. The last domino is ultimately closing the deal or getting the one deal, 5 extra deals, 10 extra deals. But before that, obviously you need deals closed at your target profit. Before that, you need leads and quality conversations so that you can actually get them on their contract. To get quality conversations, you ultimately need the right leads. But you cannot have quality conversations if you don't get them on the phone. And in order to get them on the phone, we need to get the right foundation so that these leads don't fall through the crack. And we actually are optimizing towards appointments. So right in here, that's why we put a lot of effort on your Beast lead management system. So let me go over this right here. So here's the thing. The first thing that we gotta make sure that we actually do is that everything follows a process and it's organized so that you can ultimately have all the leads in one place. Here's what it looked like. A sales process is everything, right? When you follow a framework and you manage your leads like a professional, you're never going to have leads fall through a crack. Well, it's going to be very rare. And then the next step is how you're going to manage those leads and then make them move forward to your entire pipeline. So follow a process, make it predictable and measurable. Having processes allows you to scale, and about scaling without sales. Forget scaling about forget about scaling without sales SOPs. So the acquisition person needs to have sellers sent to them at the same spot in the sales process so they know what they can and can't say based on past conversations. So the lead managers will not say too much or too little to the seller. And here is the sales process document that we actually have put together right here for you. You can always take a look at that. But goes over the different stages. So one of the first stages is the discovery framework. Ultimately, you're going to have a discovery call where we also have put together here an SOP right here, where the discovery framework ultimately starts by opening the entire conversation. Now, I like to follow NPQ or different people like RJ Bates. There are different styles, but I like to follow an actual SOP. So you start by opening, introduction, building rapport connection, right? And then you set an agenda, which helps you set the frame and build authority. Then you start diving deep into the problems, pain points, find current state where they are right now, and then the goals that you find a gap, right? So you understand their current situation in their life. You start uncovering objections or obstacles that could potentially happen, right? And then you do some property information, but then you ultimately find their deep goals so that you can find that gap. Then you sell that potential gap by transitioning after to selling some sort of game plan, demo, or offer call, so that then they'll be more prepared. All right. There's an entire video of the sales process that I put together for you guys. Also, it's in here in this YouTube channel. Now, why is this also important? Because when you set up the right Beast lead management system, you gotta set it up with the right CRM. There's different CRMs out there, all right, that are good, and you gotta be able to learn how to actually choose the right one. Okay, now there's a few statuses that you always gotta be able to put in place. One is new leads, only new leads, fresh, untouched. All right. The second one is working leads that we called, but we never had a conversation with them just yet. So they are touched. They have been touched, right? And then cold follow up people that ultimately are 90 days out to start selling the process based on what they actually are looking for. Warm follow up, which is about 31 to 90 days to start selling process, basically not extremely cold, but may be able to sell down the road. Hot follow up, which is less than 30 days to start selling process, should be an appointment, but for whatever reason it's not, then you got to be able to actually follow up. Now, and that leads, which is hostile people sold the house already, maybe wrong number or buy, not in buy box. This also depends on exactly what you're actually willing to do, whether you're going to go above and beyond and actually skip trace the leads based on the address. So if you skip trace based on that address that came from Google or Facebook and they had the wrong number for some reason, then you find the right number, then you put them back into the right pipeline. And then obviously appointment set. So seller has motivation. If someone has set an appointment or you set an appointment, this is the higher intent lead. That's why we
we actually optimize towards getting appointments. All right. So these people want to start selling, doing the selling process in the next 30 days. Based on our data, we actually realized that about 40 to 65% of leads are booking an appointment from day one. And we're doing this very meticulously because we want to make sure that we get as many marketing qualified leads and we get people that are highly intentional. All right. Now, here's the lead management workflow that we want to be able to ultimately follow. You're going to focus on the Pareto formula, the Pareto chart, for example, which is the 80-20. So what does that mean? So 80% of the people that you have, like all these leads that you would have, would not give. So what does that mean? That 20% of the leads that are in your pipeline will give you 80% of your results. You cannot go crazy because you have hundreds of leads in there that are untouched, and you know, just because they are not being touched right now, that doesn't mean you're not going to make money. Now you're going to create, follow up, nurture, and reactivation systems in order to make sure that they are actually being taken care of using automations, workflows, and later on humans. But don't go crazy. All right. Now, all the leads are pre-appointment right in here for lead management. The least views needed are, again, new leads working all the way to 31 days, hot follow-ups, warm follow-ups, cold follow-ups, and pending appointments. So no shows. And then list calling priority would be new leads, hot follow-ups, pending appointments, working 0 to 7 days, warm follow-up, and working 7 to 30 days, and cold follow-up or working 31. And you should be able to create tags and custom fields in your CRM in order to actually, run a follow-up campaign or just start dialing or sending reactivation messages. Now, if there are not enough leads to call, feel free to call opportunity follow-ups. All right. And that's another one. Here's the KPIs that you should be able to track: number of calls or appointments ultimately that you're getting, the conversations and connections that you are ultimately having every single day, the appointment sets. All right. So there's a difference between setting appointments and actually doing calls. So a call is an actual conversation that you had in an appointment, right? Whether that's in person or a phone call. And here's the metrics: make sure that you have at least 2 appointment sets per day. That should be your goal. All right. This way you're able to scale predictably. And this is in order to actually add a 6-figure digit in your business. Now, the conversation that you should aim for 15 to 20, depending on the skills of the rep, typically 10 to 15% set rate. And the calls that you should have is about 100 minimum per day. Okay. So you should be dialing. All right. You should be having these calls. All right. And talking to people as much as possible. Okay. So here's a few providers for CRM that you should actually be looking into. The first one is going to be Go Ahead Level. I like to recommend you guys to use REI Rocket Force. And this is a Go Ahead Level CRM that we built specifically for wholesalers. You should be able to actually use it. It's only $97 a month. The other one is going to be RA Simply. RA Simply is built for wholesalers as well, and it's really, really good. There is a link in the description below if you want a code to get a trial and then ultimately follow my link. The other one would be, Investor Fuse, okay, or Carrot CRM. And Investor Fuse is another one that is very reputable, and I know a lot of people using it very, very well. Make sure that you have set up a good lead management system and you have the right technology. Create a follow-up reactivation and nurture systems so that you can actually have leads not fall through a crack.